Hey y'all, welcome into T1A Tier 1 Ascension. We got your week 4 waivers lined up here. How did we do last week? Do you think we did all right?
I think we hit pretty good.
We don't have the official stats on it because honestly, we don't give enough of a fuck.
Yeah.
So I say we just jump right into the shit here and we go with some of the hot guys out there, some of the same dudes we've been putting out there. Somebody gets fucking hurt and is next man up, and is the next man worth putting a little bit of money on. Who's our first next man up, Tony?
We got good old Jameis Winston of the New Orleans Saints. Currently rostered 2% out there in Sleeper for most of the Dynasty leagues. We know what Jameis is. We've seen him sling the ball all over the place. He mostly looked like dog poo coming into this last game. You talked about this a little bit off air with me. It's because he probably wasn't paying attention to any of the game plan.
No fucking way. Dude got no reps. Dude got no reps. Paid no attention to the game plan. Probably sitting off to the side in the film room playing fucking grab ass with somebody. Right? Fucking something else up. Either way, we all know exactly what Jameis is. He's going to come out. He's going to sling the shit out of the ball. He looked like dog shit against Green Bay. Coughed up 17-point lead for Jordan Love, which a lot of it was his fault. I mean, you could see some passes which errantly bad. Jameis will get his shit together, and the matchup. This is what I like is the matchup. He's almost damn near guaranteed to play this week. And he's going to get the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming to New Orleans, his old stomping grounds. That team is going to – that's a good fucking team. I mean, that's a decent team. They got a decent defense. The offense sputters along, gets it done, keeps up with teams. But if you're looking for a guy who's going to be a one-week filler for you this week and possibly get you a couple more weeks, because that AC joint that Derek Carr's dealing with isn't just going to be like, hey, I took 2 weeks off, I feel better. That's going to linger with him now for the rest of the season.
And that's his throwing shoulder. So Derek Carr did injure his throwing shoulder. We've seen the AC joint take running backs in and out of games week to week. And now with him being on his throwing shoulder, this could go all the way, like you were saying before, all the way up to their bye week. Hopefully not. But they've probably got some time with Jameis. And if they really have to get desperate, they'll go Taysom Hill. But, you know, this offense is getting Kamara back. They still have Olave. They still got Mike Thomas. They got Rashid Shaheed. They've got, Juwan Johnson. So there's going to be still targets all over.
Yeah, there's definitely boys to throw the ball to for Jameis, and he's going to have the talent around him. Hopefully a week of actual prep where he's fucking paying attention. Plus a little bit of getting ready for the Bucs, his old boys. Yeah. He's definitely going to get this week to start, and you're probably going to see spot starts throughout the season as Derek Carr deals with his AC joint. So this is a good guy to actually just go fucking kind of snag up in one QB leagues.
All right, next up on our list, Joshua Palmer from the Los Angeles Chargers, wide receiver, rostered currently 5% in most dynasty leagues. This guy was kind of written off because they had Mike Williams, who's now out with a torn ACL. They had Keenan, and so he was actually slotted as their third wide receiver, even over their first-round rookie, Quentin Johnston.
Yeah, Palmer had his shot last year, and sure, he's playing, third fiddle right now. But I mean, come on, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are better talents than Josh Palmer, and that's proven because he hasn't overtaken Mike Williams, and he sure as hell ain't taken over Keenan Allen, especially in the past, and he's not going to do it now in the future. But he's a hell of a complimentary wide receiver, and lining up next to Keenan Allen as the wide receiver too is a lot more appealing than lining up next to Mike Williams as the wide receiver too, because Mike Williams isn't a wide receiver one in his own either. It's not that he's a one-trick pony, but he's not that guy. Keenan Allen is that guy. So Josh Palmer is going to step in. He's going to be able to get some coverage off of him. He's going to get some one-on-one matchups. I think it's a really good spot for him to be in. It's a high-octane offense, a lot of passing. Kellen Moore just slings the shit out of the ball every fucking time. And I think even when Eckler comes back, I don't think this team is like, okay, we need to go 50-50. Because Eckler already shown, I got fucking hurt. So they probably keep him on the outside, get him more in space, allow him to control some of the hits he's taken to his body, although Eckler still plays like a fucking madman, so I doubt that'll happen. But I would be going out to get Josh Palmer. This is where I'm spending the bulk of my money on the Chargers wide receiver core, because there are two options here. You get the lead in. With Palmer, I'm definitely dropping more money on him, and that's if I really need him. Like if I need a good wide receiver 3 or I need a good flex guy, I'm going to go get Josh Palmer and then matchup play him with some of the other guys I have on my bench. If you're going to miss out on Josh Palmer, like you don't have the money or you don't have the waiver spot, so you need to go get a piece of this Chargers offense, ding, ding, ding. Who's the next guy? Quentin Johnston. And you're going to get this guy for cheaper, right? A hell of a lot cheaper, especially in redraft leagues. It is going to be a little bit more, right? Like, don't think you're going to go in there and throw a $1 bid and be the sneaky guy who grabbed Quentin Johnston in my redraft league. People are going to go out there and put a little bit of money on him. They want a piece of this. He got drafted in the first round. Josh Palmer didn't get drafted in the first round.
Nope.
So they got this guy for a fucking reason. There is a high probability or a high chance for Quentin Johnston to overtake Josh Palmer. They're going to compete for that number 2 spot, especially with Mike Williams gone for the entire year. Now the Chargers need to figure out who's our 2, who's our 3. Right now, Palmer's the 2, Johnston's the 3. That could easily flip, and you could have the number 2 guy in LA for $5, and 2 weeks earlier before he pops off, and you're actually getting to see it happen.
So we've seen Quentin Johnston have the dropsies, and that's why he hasn't really been started. So he's been giving some options, he's been giving some looks, and it hasn't connected. So they put him on the back burner and going to let him brew. And I think that still plays true into going forward. He's going to be the 3rd wide receiver, but they're probably not going to utilize him nearly as much. They've got Parham, they got Everett, they're going to have Eckler back, they got Josh Kelly. So they're going to be able to run 2 wide receiver sets, 2 tight end, and still be perfectly viable. So Quentin Johnston is going to have a limited role, and we've seen Joshua Palmer already come out, put up 12, 15, 17-point weeks, and not even have a touchdown. So he can get volume, he can make a play, but I would just be leery on waiting for QJ to really bolster your lineup. But he could be down the stretch by the time he gets a hold of what the NFL is. He can be having some solid looks by playoffs and stuff in your fantasy leagues.
Yeah, if you're picking up Johnston on your redraft leagues right now and trying to stash him on your bench, just keep in mind he's going to play Las Vegas this week. He's probably not going to be the number 2 guy, right? He's going to be the number 3 guy going in here. See what he does. Then they have a bye week. Then they come back and they play Dallas. Then they play KC. Then they play Chicago. And then they play the Jets. So it's like, when really is this going to pop off? Probably going to end up dropping this guy. So I'm not saying, hey, I want to go out and spend $5 on this guy regardless. I'm probably going to try to get him for $1, $2. I'm going to jump in cheap early. If somebody else wants to put him on their bench and hold him for that long to see if it comes to fruition, then that's fine. That's on them. I'm probably, like I said, putting the $1 or $2 on him. If I can continue to hold him through the bye week coming up he's got, I would like to, but chances are I'm probably going to drop this guy for running back at some point. But say they go out and they play Las Vegas and Josh Palmer shits the bed, which is a total possibility.
Possible.
And Quentin Johnston goes apeshit and you're the one that got him for $5. Just keep that in mind. If you have the fab to spend, these are the kind of guys that have a higher ceiling than they really do, any risk that you're taking. So put your money up, see what happens.
Yeah, the floor for these guys are going to be low because it's still going to be funneled through Keenan. It's still going to be funneled through Eckler. So it's going to be matchup week dependent to make sure these guys work.
Yeah, but there's still going to be volume there. Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying they're going to get 0 targets.
Take it easy out there, Kellen. God damn.
But speaking of targets, we got Brian Hoyer coming in for the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, I could have found a Raiders jersey, but I just had to put the Niners one on there for him.
Yeah.
He's coming in because Jimmy G is in concussion protocol for this week. Doesn't mean he's completely ruled out. So I wouldn't go and back up the Brinks truck and be like, Brian Hoyer. It's probably going to be a 1-week thing, but very likely that he's not going to be playing this week as far as Jimmy G.
Just like Brian Hoyer's last throw in the NFL, this is a absolutely desperation throw. You're going after Brian Hoyer. Like Tank said here, he's going to be a 1-week guy. You can't count out Jimmy Garoppolo just yet, but he would be the first guy this year in the NFL to go into the concussion protocol and then be able to play the following week. So chances are high this is going to be Brian Hoyer.
So Brian Hoyer got a concussion last year, and then the Pats cut him. So I looked into that just to see. I was like, well, what the hell happened to Hoyer? I know he played or was signed somewhere last year. He was on the Patriots.
We could have put somebody better here.
Week 4, he gets a concussion, and they're like, yeah, we're good. And they just cut him for the rest of the year. And then in April, the Raiders signed Hoyer. And then all summer long, did we see Hoyer? Hell no. We saw Aiden O'Connell come in and have an actually decent preseason.
Yeah, he had a bomb-ass preseason. Kid killed it. Statistically put up great numbers. I saw some of the highlights. I really didn't follow him because, I mean, shit, he's the third on the fucking depth chart right now. And, I mean, what are you going to do? He's like the next Jarrett Stidham. He's going to they're going to realize Jimmy Garoppolo fucking sucks. Or Jimmy Garoppolo is going to finally break down for the season.
Get hurt here and there. And
at some point, they're going to give Aiden O'Connell a shot. So in Dynasty Superflex leagues, if Aiden O'Connell is somehow available in your league, he shouldn't be because you should now be on your roster following this this video and you getting your fucking waiver in on him. Go get him.
Yeah.
Like I said, you can't take Brian Hoyer seriously. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. What's that guy going to do for you?
He's what, 38, 39?
Right.
Eternal backup.
Yeah. My biggest concern is my Devontae Adams shares, not my shit. I knew we get Brian Hoyer shares. So, yeah. No disrespect, Brian Hoyer. I'm fucking sorry, man. You're a professional. You fucking have actually made it to the NFL. But, dude, come on. Fuck. Yeah, I would go after Aiden O'Connell in these. Even in redraft real quick, don't get away with it. I would still go maybe put a claim in on Aiden O'Connell. If you have bench space and you're just like, fuck, I just need to find some guys. Dude, quarterbacks are going to get fucking hurt. Clearly, it shows. Derek Carr has been hurt. Jimmy Garoppolo got fucking hurt. Their backups are going to be worth something as this starts to matriculate its way down. And it is a war of attrition every fucking year. Go snag these guys up, just put them on your bench for a little bit. Worst case scenario, you just dump these assholes for somebody else later. No offense, Aiden O'Connell. Mustache, motherfucker.
Nice little crusty stash. All right. One of the man of the week this week, Devon Achane from the Miami Dolphins, running back. He's currently rostered in 46% of Dynasty.
There's no way this guy is unrostered in 54% of Dynasty leagues. He's unrostered in 54% of redraft leagues. This dude is he was getting drafted in Dynasty leagues in the late first.
Yeah, he was. And a lot of people dropped him after that.
No fucking way. He is not. No way.
When I research these, I go into Dynasty. I don't go into redraft.
Yeah, I know, but we're talking about redraft.
We're talking about both.
Sure. He's not. That kid, there's no fucking way his actual roster.
Well, he won't definitely be after this week, after putting up 200 fucking rushing yards. What, 5 touchdowns?
This kid came out of fucking nowhere. And
so we talked about this in the offseason, how Miami is just a track meet. And this just really proves this week of what they got going on. Yeah. You want to talk a little bit about how Devon Achane scored a couple of his touchdowns?
Well, I just want to give my condolences to the state of Colorado because not only did you travel to Oregon and get the brakes beat off you, you then traveled to Miami and got the brakes beat off of you. That Denver team gave up in the second half. That is to not take any credit away from what Miami did or what Raheem Mostert and Devon Achane did. I love the way they were getting this kid the ball, and this is why I'm saying go get this kid in your redraft leagues. Look, he's probably just going to be a flex player for you because you never know who's going to be the guy that is behind him. He's too small to take on the full workload, so they're always going to have somebody there taking up some of the carries that are getting overran on him, somebody to plug it up the middle, which even then, this kid still ran the ball up the fucking middle. It was insane to watch him go.
Yeah.
His 2 receiving touchdowns, though. This is what I wanted to get into. These weren't like quick little flip outs. These weren't quick little check downs. These were designed plays to get the ball in Devon Achane's hands against linebackers flowing in the wrong direction. If you watched any of the game, you saw Tua in either under the center, shotgun formation, or pistol formation with 2 running backs next to him, one of them being Achane, the other one I couldn't tell you because he didn't get the goddamn ball. Because Tua faked the ball to him. Achane at the hike would step forward. He'd do a little stutter step, make it look like, hey, I'm trying to find a little block.
I'm going to block you.
Yeah, find a lane here. I'm just going to chip in. My fucking 188 pounds is going to just, be like a fly in your ass. But that got the linebackers flowing forward. And now you've got Devon Achane basically going from a guy can go from 0 to 100. Now 2 steps going towards the linebackers, and the linebackers have gone 2 steps towards him. And Tua just shoveled past that bitch right to him. And Achane took off like a rocket. Now, if Mike McDaniel, who is quickly becoming, and I'm going to go ahead and say it right now, an offensive genius along the lines of what Sean McVay was when he was taking the Rams to the Super Bowl, offensive genius along the lines of what Kyle Shanahan and Mike Shanahan have been, And you can see it all back here, the Niner stuff. I'm not going to put him at Bill Walsh territory, but this kid is taking everything the West Coast offense and the stretch run is and modernized it.
Yep.
He put together a little track meet of midgy Usain Bolts and put them all out on the field and say, look, we're going to use every blade of grass out on the fucking field. And with guys like Devon A-Chain, dude, these guys are going to pop off. He's not going to go for 50 again next fucking week, so don't get your hopes up. Shit, I don't know if he fucking might. He's got the talent to do it, but I don't think he's going to do it. But you go get this guy because this is a matchup play, and you watch Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson, and those guys get beat up throughout the year. They're old. They're showing his injury prone, and hopefully Devon A-Chain, who had 18 carries on Sunday, that's fucking crazy. Hopefully he's feeling okay. He's not too beat up, and he can continue to take some kind of a pounding like that throughout the year and not let this little 188-pound college body affect him. I don't think it will. He actually looks like he can handle an NFL workload. Not a full workload, but what I'm saying is that little half
not a workhorse.
Yeah.
You can't do this week in and week out.
I would actually like to see A-Chain at like 48%. I think that carry share at 48% is like, that's such a perfect number for him to get to, which is a really high number, I think, honestly.
It's definitely the track meet that's Miami is very prevalent because if they run any play action pass, the linebacker or safety corner takes their eye off of who they're covering for any little bit amount of time, that fucking player's gone. So
especially all by play design too. It's like the way the routes are designed to go in behind linebackers to stress linebackers. Like, are you going to cover the run? Are you going to come up and catch this little 4'3", 40, 188-pound dude who's going to blow by you if you're not in the right spot? Or are you going to stand in your spot and take that slant away from Tyreek Hill? That's a tough fucking call. What do? I just stand still. I don't know what to do. Run around me. That's what Denver did.
That's why I was a fat lineman. I didn't have to worry about that. I just went forward. Oh,
that's exactly what Denver did on Sunday. They were just like, fuck it. I don't know who's getting it. Just stay there. Just stand there. Let's see what happens. Hopefully they'll run it does.
I'm surprised they got down in 3-point stance and we're just standing with our arms crossed.
Yeah, just looking at him like, fuck, what are you going to do now? What's the mad genius going to do right now?
Screw you guys. We're going home.
No shit. Long flight.
All right. So we got one more on this list here. It's Jeff Wilson Jr. He's currently on the IR. And if you have an IR spot that's open, he is worth a pickup. Stash him back on your IR spot and go pick up the guy you just dropped.
Yeah, Jeff Wilson's coming back week 5, and this turns into a 3-headed monster with 3 dudes who can chug it, right? These are 3 really good running backs. All 3 have decent speed. Some have more speed than others, but when Jeff Wilson comes back, he's going to get run. Does A-Chain and Mostert doing as well as they are, maybe push him back a little bit further? Whatever. Either way, at some point during the season, he's going to come back.
Or gives him a little bit more leeway to get healthy before he
plays.
But we know that one of these 3 guys are going to get banged up eventually, and the other 2 are going to still have solid games and solid workload. So get your piece of the Miami Dolphins.
Get your piece.
Get your piece, boys.
Next slide.
Next. All right, let's talk about some fab spending here. So parentheses here, we are talking about a little bit of super flex. So Jameis Winston, we are spending $1 to $11 in a 1 QB league. If we have a 2 QB league, super flex, we're dropping some money because we know that we're going to have him 1 for a couple weeks. 2, we know that the ball is going to get distributed and still have a good amount of volume coming from him.
I fully agree on that. And to touch on like 1 QB leagues, if you punted quarterback and went all the way down to Derek Carr to be your starting quarterback, Jameis Winston is not a bad filler. So throw in a little bit of money on him unless you have a pretty good backup behind you. I wouldn't throw the bank at this guy, but if you are desperate, man, get the money on this guy, get him in there. He's going to get you points. I mean, that's what he does. Jameis Winston, the fantasy quarterback, not the real one.
So, Josh Palmer, you already said this before. This is the guy that you're spending the most money on probably this week, but definitely out of the Chargers team, looking at $10 to $15. I don't care if that's really redraft or in Dynasty. I think this guy is going to get some volume. We know he's going to be there all season long, and he's going to see targets.
Yeah, he's going to get you points. I mean, he's in a high-octane offense with Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator and Justin Herbert as his quarterback. I don't think I have to say much more. Put money on him. He will get into your starting lineup.
QJ, we are not vesting in him much just because it's going to still be a while before he's relevant. And hell, who knows? The guy that wins him this week could get fed up in 2-3 weeks when he's not doing much, and you can pick him back up for $1 or free, and then have him for the time that he starts to become relevant.
Dude, we need in this, you need like the quick blurb of the RoboCop guy when we say for $1 and it pops up.
I'd buy that for $1.
We need that. We need that. Okay, to get a little bit serious now. Yeah, QJ. Look, if you're like in waivers and you don't do fab and you're low on the waivers because you're a competing team and you're kicking ass and you're gonna like, I'm going for the playoffs, I'm gonna compete for the championship. You're not gonna get Josh Palmer because of where you're at. And you probably aren't going to want to pay $10 to $15 to get Josh Palmer because he's not going to start over some of the guys you probably have on your roster. That's fine. Go get QJ, right? Spend the $3 on him, get a piece of the Chargers offense, plug him in when you're going through bye weeks on your stud-ass team you got. It's a cheap investment. And even in the flip of what Tony said, you could be the guy that's like, fuck this, I spent $3 on you, haven't done shit, and you dump him, and then you watch him do good on somebody else's roster, and they paid $1 for him. Yep. Whatever. Fuck it. Happens.
Next. We have Brian Hoyer. Brian.
Go after that Niner uniform, motherfucker.
Brian Hoyer and Aiden O'Connell. Brian Hoyer, $1 to $5. I mean, you've got to be absolute desperate, nothing on the waiver wire, to spend $5 in a 1 QB league to get Brian Hoyer. Superflex 8 to 10, just because we know that second spot, even having him throw up 10 to 12 points, is a lot more viable than most options you have in your second or third flex option. So definitely a possibility for your roster. Yeah, I'm trying to talk myself into some reason to get Hoyer, and the more that we do this, the more that we keep doing this episode, I'm the more sold on just getting Aiden O'Connell and saying fuck Hoyer.
I'll lead into that then. Like Tony said, fuck Hoyer. But look, let's be honest too. Hold on. Let's be honest too. Jimmy Garoppolo is not like the true tried statue of bronze of staying healthy. Right? And here he is. He's already banged up. He's in concussion protocol. Like I said before, he would be the first player this year to come back from concussion protocol to play the following week. So it's going to be Hoyer, right?
And the way that his ankle twisted as well, I think it's a combo of the concussion and his ankle, and he'll probably just sit this week for sure.
Dude, Jimmy is a runway model with weak ankles. So, Hoyer, yeah. If you're in Superflex leagues, Hoyer's probably going to get the longest run. And if you're in Superflex dynasties and Aiden O'Connell is somehow available, you should fucking go get him any goddamn way. But yeah, if you're in redraft Superflex leagues right now, I'm buying into Hoyer if I'm a team that right now needs to fill the fact that, holy shit, I just lost. I had Jimmy Garoppolo and Derek Carr as my quarterbacks. Fuck. So There you go. There's Brian Hoyer. Go get him. Spend a little bit of money on him because he will be the dude. And to be honest with you, if you're in that situation and you're just like, I'm vested into the into the quarterbacks in Las Vegas, just spend the extra fucking money on Aiden too. Get them both.
I really think that if you watched any preseason at all and you have a taxi squad, Aiden O'Connell should have been on there already.
Word. I mean,
because he had a decent offseason. Well, a lot of guys we're in leagues with already had their grab of him. All right. So the two Miami running backs, Devon Achane. So he is going to be the most relevant. So you are going to have to spend a little bit more money to go get him. And we're saying 10 to 15. You can't expect him to be your RB2 for the season at all. Now, a viable flex here and there, yes. And I think that definitely warrants the $10 to $15.
Yeah, bring this down. Like we're all in cloud 18. That's twice 9, right? That's how fucking high we are on Devon Achane right now. Even though I'm going to say that right now, I'm still going to say that the money we have on him right now as far as fab, it's a generalization, right? I'd still spend more on him. If I needed a guy that was like, Jesus Christ, I need a guy that can just put in my flex spot that it gives me a shot, I'm going to go spend more money on him. Fact of the matter is, Jeff Wilson Jr. already on the IR for a fucking reason. The guy lives there. So he's going to come back and play like 2 games this year. Raheem Mostert, he also lives on the IR. I can't believe he didn't get hurt in Sunday's game with how much they fucking ran him. So at some point, it's going to be Devon Achane and like Salvin Ahmed. You know what I mean? Like it's like holy shit. So at some point,
Chris Brooks. I mean, they've got 5 running backs on the roster for a reason.
yeah, and there's more out there. Like they can continue to bring guys in, but just the unique way that Mike McDaniel got the ball in his hands and utilizing the speed of everybody else out around him, dude. We didn't even say that. I don't think Jalen Waddle didn't play in this fucking game.
Yeah.
He didn't play in this game, and they put up 70 on Denver. Now, imagine with Waddle and Tyreek Hill out there, how much more space A-Chain could have. The kid's he's nuclear. If he's available in your redraft leagues, fucking shame on you. You should have had him already. I don't think I'm in a single redraft league. Yeah, I'm not in a single redraft league where somebody didn't snag him up late or I didn't snag him up late. I didn't start it for his 50 fucking points, but at this point now it's like, holy shit, okay, you're healthy, you're in, let's go. Hey, another guy I'd like to bring up really quick too.
Absolutely.
This is going to be out of the cup, so we're just going to cut this shit. Kendre Miller. If you watched any of our summer shit, and we were talking about Kendre Miller in rookie drafts, I was so high on Kendre Miller, right? And that poor flame like died down to where like a little ember, just a little coal hanging out in the woods, probably all wet around it, somehow survived the mud puddles. Last week, the kid actually showed up pretty well. I'm going to look this up really quick because I want to see a stat. So I don't talk about
well, while you're looking up that, I think there is another running back that we need to talk about after you are through here with Kendre Miller, and it's very much along the same lines of he's got to see some touches now, got to see some volume out of him, but I'll let you finish first.
Okay. So I'll bring up Kendre Miller because, yes, Kamara's going to come back, right? Kendre Miller's not Kamara. Kendre Miller's 6 foot, 220 pounds. Kendre Miller is Mark Ingram, right?
Yeah.
So Kendre Miller is going to do the pound and ground. Kendre Miller's going to fill in. I know Tony Jones played it out, and I think even Miller ended up coming out of the game a little bit just because it was a little bit tight, right? That hamstring's going to fuck with him all year.
Yeah, he was
get him
out the week before, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to get him for dirt fucking cheap. They gave him 9 carries in the game, 1 target. He caught that target. This kid is fucking good. If you're in dynasty leagues and somehow Kendre Miller is floating around there and everybody's a little bummed on him, go get him, right? Yeah. Go fucking get him.
What would you trade to get Kendre?
Fucking throw me in a bus like that.
It wasn't intentional. It's not like, hey, it's a bus. Go fucking move.
It's hard for me to put. It's hard for me to put like a draft pick value on Kendre Miller because right now, currently, and everybody's gonna fucking see this. I can't. I'm just gonna get this.
Well, the thing is too is you probably spent a mid-second on him already, so you don't want to move him for a mid-second. And there's no way that you can get a first for him.
Yeah, you're not getting a first for him. This is gonna be a player swap, right?
Yeah, like this is a player or a player pick. Like,
yeah,
it's gonna have to be a combination.
Here's a good one. You've got I have Jameis Winston. That guy has Derek Carr and Kendre Miller. So you put something together like Kendre Miller. I don't think Kendre Miller is a focal point of something you're doing. Like you're not trying to go get a straight across second round pick for him.
Yeah.
You're not trying to go recoup the first round pick that you may have put on him in the late first, right? Because you need running backs. This is going to be player based, and you're going to have to kind of try to figure out pieces. And this is just, of course, spieled off in a dynasty. We've been talking about redraft, but in dynasty, this is go get Kendre Miller right now. Right, Kendre Miller right now, in my opinion, is going to pop by the end of the year. All the rookie running backs do it. I'm not saying he's going to be a league winner, but you're going to be happy as shit when in your third or second flex spot you had Kendre Miller in weeks 15, 16, and 17.
Yeah, and I think very much the same thing about Roschon Johnson of Chicago.
Yeah,
I think this is the time to really start to look at buying into Roschon. The offense is down. The volume for everything that Justin Fields is all over the place. They're going to have to look to solidify this offense. And I think from what we've seen already, it's going to be Roschon leading the way with the support of Khalil Herbert.
Yeah, Roschon's out athletic Khalil Herbert so far. This
out-powered, out-athletic. He looks like really he's going to be the new workhorse back of the Chicago Bears. And now is going to be the time to do what you can to obtain him if you're going to take that shot.
It's like they let David Montgomery go and then got him plus back.
Yeah.
And Roschon. So, yeah, I agree. I think he's a hot target to go after. I don't think it amounts to much of shit if Justin Fields can't get it together. I really don't.
That's all I've got for us today.
Yeah, I'm pretty much wrapped up, I think. I don't have anybody else that popped off in my head.
Oh, I do, but I want to save it until he actually gets a little more workload. So
Fucking save it.
I want to
Fucking
save that little
save it.
nugget.
Yeah.
All right. Definitely liking the videos. Please throw us the like. We appreciate those.
Help us with the algorithm.
Yep. Click on the notifications if you want to see more weekly episodes. We are going to get to a weekly episode for our other league eventually. Just be patient.
Make sure you subscribe to.
Make sure you get to subscribe.
Hit the subscribe button.
We want to see 50 eventually. We're sitting at 50 people that might like us. They want to see us over and over again. But that's all I got for you guys today.
That's all I got. Y'all, remember, be like water. Peace.
Later.